Video we are going to be breaking down Flixie, Veno, and Vico. The main things we are going to take away from this video is how to utilize the Superman sprite. I think there is going to be a lot of creativity in this game. I think especially if the meta shifts in the next Fortnite update and we see the gold cape get nerfed or removed from comp, I think it suddenly becomes the most valuable item outside of the dash bomb. Second thing we're going to focus on this game is how to recover when your game goes so poorly in the early game. Now, when Flixie jumps out of this bus, I'm going to highlight something, and that is Veno gets knocked, and Vico gets knocked and thirsted. We have to complete a double reboot in this game, and still manage to clutch out a 16-kill win. So how do they do that? The first thing to know about this game is the amount of space they control. The amount of space this trio gets is crazy. They have a literal Bermuda Triangle in the center of the map that no one even dares to enter. The level of respect this lobby has for Veno, Vico, and Flixie is crazy. It is truly crazy. So, I'm going to skip forward real quick, because the rest of the next 3-4 minutes is just them looting up. The main thing to note is that they really value using dash sprites to use them in shrines. The reason why you do that is it gains you a lot of hero rank. You want to gain as much hero rank as possible, because you can get up towards B, A, S, you gain access to even more loot, and those A and S tier chests have guaranteed capes in A and S, and in S tier chests you have guaranteed chug jugs. So if you can get 2-3 shrines claimed in the early game, and then get a couple kills, all of a sudden, you can gain access to some really, really good loot. So, they end up keying Flooded Frogs. The reason why they key Flooded Frogs is they see Marius get knocked, so it's very easy for them to go over there and key. I'm going to highlight Flixie here as he is the one that gets the kill on the Pixie. Pretty simple stuff here. Isolate Pixie out. They know they're a duo. Trap him in the sewers. Pixie actually does a pretty good job here. Gets a 180 pump off onto Flixie, but it doesn't really matter. It's a 3v1. He's not going to be able to do anything. I'm going to swap over to Veno real quick, because I think he does the most valuable thing to take away from. So as they're recovering from this fight, trying to reset mentally, figure out their new game plan, Flixie starts to get keyed. This is about as bad a situation as possible. We have 3 players breathing down Flixie's neck. Now, Flixie does a good job of spam reboxing, using his dashes, burning as much mats as he physically can. But I want to highlight here Veno, because I think Veno does the job of counter pressuring perfectly here. He capes over, second he lands, he elevates up, and he gets off a good counter spray. If he doesn't get this counter spray off, if he doesn't get height, both these players are going to keep pinching and pressuring Flixie. But because Veno gets on their head, this causes this player below him to play more passive. He's nervous. He's worried. He doesn't want this guy to jump in on his head. And because he sprays this player on the left, that guy also, all of a sudden, stops pressuring Flixie. Flixie, who's only 100 HP, now has a chance to recover in this fight. That is incredible value. Now, this fight gets a little weird. I'm going to switch over to Vico. We get a bit lucky here. Hyper ends up getting caught in between Vico and Veno, and basically insta-dies. And then Vico goes down in a very, I would describe, troll way. Now, you can definitely say he overextended here and should not have edited. But this player is 15 HP and hits the trick shot of a lifetime. And so all of a sudden it's now 2v2. Veno tries to make a counterplay. Goes up. And he gets, I kid you not, 3-2-1'd by 2 different trios. This trio and Mr. Savage's trio. And instantly dies. So we're off to a great start to this game. We have 1 kill, our teammates are both dead, and there are 15 players inside Flooded Frogs. Textbook, about what the script was written. So, this is where Flixie really plays this well, and this is my biggest pet peeve with a lot of players. So many players in this position panic, and they do everything they can to create as much distance as they can. The problem if you create this much distance and you just keep going, you're all the way over here now, you have no info on what's happening here. Fortnite is a game of information. And so if you have no information on what's happening in this fight, if you don't know if the cards are being camped, if you don't know when you can get cards safely, or even if you can, you are playing the game blind. You are making the game more difficult for yourself. What does Flixie do? He dashes twice, and he hides. He hides in the sewer. He starts wrapping back, and as you can already see, 2 of the teams have cleared out. The third party is chasing the other third party, and now the other third party is chasing as well. All of a sudden, he can grab card and he can go reboot within about 30 seconds of Veno and Vico dying. That is tremendous value. Instead of him running away like a scared little boy and spending the next minute and 30 seconds slowly lurking back, not knowing if he can get card or not, he's able to instantly get them up. In a lobby where they need 1,500 surge in most games, them being able to instantly recover and get their loot is so important. Now, it also is pretty helpful that there's about 8 or so bodies here now, so already Flixie's loot looks incredible, Veno's loot already incredible, and then Vico's loot already pretty damn good. So they've already essentially full recovered. While the ammo isn't great on all of them, it's definitely good on Flixie, and it's pretty good on Vico, and now it's good on Veno. So we're full back in this game. Throw down dash sprites. Everyone's got dashes. Again, notice how they're holding the Superman sprite. This is really going to come into play later, but the versatility of this item is crazy. The only weakness is its limited uses. Now, they do get lucky here. They were originally going to wrap into Supernova Academy so they could utilize the launch pad here to send them into boxcars, but they get lucky and they catch a full trio chasing a solo, and they're going to be able to get a free kill off of this. So, Veno is the one that's going to be able to get the kill. So, Vidil is chasing this player. They are in zone. No one is expecting to get 3-2-1 here, but unfortunately for Vidil, second he jumps, it's over. And now they get their hands on, somehow, someway, a third Chug Jug after getting rebooted just 2 minutes ago. So already, they're on a pathway to recovering this game pretty well. They just got about 300 surge. They're about to find another down body. So they're going to be about 400 surge now, and that is without Flixie's damage from before. So they're already on a pretty good track to being in this game. Heal's still really good. They have dropped that Superman sprite for a dash sprite, but still, it will come back later, I promise. So normally I highlight the trio I'm mainly watching, but I want to talk about real quick about tunneling, and I'm going to use this player to highlight it, because this is a pretty unfortunate death. So what should this player be doing? This player should be pretty 360-ish. He should be constantly, like, surveying, like, his surroundings, making sure he's not getting lurked up on, because, let me just swap over real quick, neither of his teammates can see his blind spot. This area right here, this guy can't see because he's blocked by a mountain, and this player is also blocked by a mountain. He's the only one that can see this area, so he needs to be aware of it. It's very, very likely in a game like this that a team is going to come late out of zone and work up out of boxcars. However, what ends up happening is our boy Fant over here hyper focuses on the one trio he can see, never checks his back, and by the time he realizes he's being lurked on, it's already over. If you're in a surge base, do your best not to tunnel. I know it's very, very hard, especially when you're in a lobby where you're so focused on surge, but when you allow yourself to get distracted, it's very easy for you to find yourself dying in ways like that, and those are the worst possible deaths because it's such a nothing burger of a game, because you aren't dying fighting, you aren't dying making a play, you're dying because of a mistake. It's the worst kind of deaths. Now, why are they sitting in zone here? They are full gambling on 6th, so what they get off his body is 3 medkits. Super, super valuable. Allows them to tank the 2-tick for a while. We're going to swap over to Veno real quick because we're going to highlight his map knowledge. So, they don't get a very great zone for them to tank here, but they get a pretty good zone. They can still get towards its expanding side on the bottom right, I should probably use a better, more visible color. They can still get towards this side and claim, like, all of this space, which is very, very valuable for them. But they aren't going to be able to claim the free height they would have if they pulled a better zone here. Now, to highlight his map knowledge, they get those 3 medkits off the body. Insanely gutsy call to go, we're going to get to the campfire first. Could have been games over, but we're good. Super, super value out of that. End up going early. Still, while they probably would have preferred to be able to sit in zone a little bit longer and claim this top right side, I'm not sure if they were afraid of the campfire breaking or because of storm sickness. They still do end up claiming all of this space. Super, super valuable. Super, super clean rotate. Do not be afraid of the 2-tick, especially if you have a lot of whites. Being able to get to expand inside of the 2-tick early is super, super valuable. You saw that in my rapid video where he was basically able to win an entire div cup off of that alone. So, things to note there, they were all fully ready. The second zone popped. I've talked about it before, but Fortnite is truly a game that is won in the transitions. The transitions between zones is where you get the most value, but I'm going to quickly change our focus, and we're going to focus on Veno. I've been hyping up the Superman blob the entire game, and once again, we are going to see it be absolutely broken. Now, I'm going to once again swap to a different team. I want to really hone in on Queasy here. Queasy isn't about as good a spy as you can possibly ask for. Good heals on him, good heals on his teammate, and everyone has mobility. This is a dream. They all have a mobility item, and they have dashes on. This is perfect. Couldn't ask for anything more in this game. So, how does it all go wrong? We dash, we start building out a brick, and we're dead. It gets even better. Merstache tries to play for his loot, and a different team Supermans him, and he dies. Just real quick to go back to Veno's POV. This item is so strong and so versatile. You can use it for kills like this. You can use it for pre-edits. You can use it for pressuring a team. You can use it for taking height or taking low. The only weakness is its ammo. Look at the Superman buff. This is the max amount of ammo it can have, 75 in it. And look how quickly it runs out. Queasy builds up, and Queasy finds himself 6 feet under. But notice how it's already gone from 75 to 57 in like what? A second and a half, 2 seconds of use. The one weakness of this item is that it runs out so quickly. It's the only weakness of it. Besides that, it is so incredibly strong. It even bleeds sometimes. Now we're going to shift our focus. Now that we've gotten that kill for Surge, we focus on the rotate. We do not panic. We do not take weird, risky, wide edits. We all get healthy and we all get ready, set for the next rotate. I'm going to keep hammering home. Games are won in the transitions. So, every single player, we're all together, sitting on the same wall. Second zone pops, we will be ready to rotate. And when it does, they do. Back to their old builds. Notice, so much of the lobby is behind them. Literally, everyone else is behind them. They are able to control their destiny. I talk about this a lot, and it's something I really think is important. Controlling your own destiny is this idea of, if you play mid-game well enough, you can decide how you rotate. So because Veno and them were about here, and they didn't have teams on top of them breathing down their neck, choking them out, they're able to get to here. And then they're going to be able to do that again. They're going to be able to get to here, and then make enough space where a team can't grief them. Whereas, any of the teams in this cluster, or the teams down here, they don't have that freedom. Their entire destiny is decided by the teams around them. They don't have a choice. A team next to them can run a pre, can grief them. A team cannot rotate. So many things can go wrong for them that can cause them not to place this game. The fate, the destiny is out of their hands. Controlling your own destiny by having good mid-game, keeping you spaced away from other players, is the key. It's the consistent reason why you see so many teams do so well. Now, this is something I see Queasy do a lot, and a lot more really good teams, which is investing heavily in the 8th zone. The 8th zone is the crash out zone. It is the zone where every single team that is not stacked starts to do dumb things. Maybe they need a bit of surge. They're going to do a weird, like, triple spray. Maybe they are 0 max and they need to run a parade. Maybe they just feel like it. But regardless, when you have all of these teams congested onto each other, it's really easy for a team to do something dumb near you. So investing mats heavily into this 8th zone, especially when they're going to be on a congested edge like they are, is super important to making sure that doesn't happen. Now, I'm going to focus on Vico again, as we see another use for the Superman sprite. Now, they didn't even execute this like that well here, and yet it's still ridiculous. Just watch this. This is metal. This is almost full built. What can they even do there? Nothing. This item is so strong. Hit the body back. And now, because they invested all of those materials and they still have that Superman sprite, they're, again, able to net value out of it. They're able to get another kill, and already we're up to 6 kills this game. Second zone pops. Again, games are won in the transition. Second zone is pops. Oppo pull. They are all going, all dashing. Again, we're investing materials, making it 2x2, all out of metal. Now I'm gonna really focus on like Veno's and Vico's like micro things here. First thing they do when they get established, look for damage on that like team rotating because they need surge. Second thing, instantly glance up at height. Try and get a general idea of where like height's doing. All 3 of them are looking up at height. Sees height's too wide. Sees it's full build metal, realize they can only take it right now, so they're going to look back and try to get damage. You're not going to be able to take height if you're not looking at it, like taking stock inventory of what they're doing, but because they have this 2x2 full front side, they're going to be able to look back. In a lot of other metas, this is probably a far more valuable position than what they actually get out of it, because everyone's got capes. Not going to be able to get too many kills, but still. Now I'm going to highlight Vico here, because again, we're going to get another bit of incredible value out of the Superman sprite. So the second we get front, Veno instantly starts to look at height. He notices height staggered, they are not directly above him, and he's like, hey, we can take it. So we swap over to Vico's POV. Now there is almost certainly a better way he could have executed this. 100% there is improvement to be made here. But the core of this play is still crazy broken. And one of them is dead. Second that happens, Flixie capes up, gets above him. And Veno cranks from front side. From here on out, it's simple Fortnite. They're just going to do their best to apply pressure to any team that poses a threat. Now, I am not a big fan of Flixie using cape there. I wish it was a gold cape because it would make everything a lot easier. There is certainly some risk. Saying I don't love it is probably a bit much of an exaggeration. Let me go back and really explain like how that worked. I'm kind of glossy over and I'm doing a poor job of being a good analyst here. The risk when you use cape there is that if a team instantly looks up for it, you are in a very weak position. Because you can't cape to catch yourself because it has a 20-second cooldown. However, the benefit of it is very similar to the old degen height take. You have Veno, who's going to crank from front side and apply pressure, and then you have Flixie, who's going to try to take it from backside. Because this duo, who now has lost their third, looks and sees Flixie taking height above them, they get scared. They look up, they see this, and they insta-drop down. This guy has zero zero hesitation. He is gone. He is running. He is jumping down. And so if he didn't do that, that team is unlikely to drop. And so me saying I don't love it is a very dumb statement by me. But this play doesn't come without its risk. Because this is a 20-second cooldown, and he has no real attachment points right now, it is very easy for him to get chopped again. The most common point a team gets chopped on height is right after they take it. But because Veno is able to add a connection point from front, they don't run into this issue. Vico is a little late coming up because he had to heal. And now we find ourselves all up on height as a trio. So something Veno's talked about before is that Veno is a huge proponent of this idea that after first zone, like first moving zone, height should almost always be one wide. The reason why is because you need to have as much vision as you can on kids caping up. So we're going to see that almost the entire time he is just one wide on edge. They are staying high enough, similar to Acorn, so a team can cape up, and they are maintaining as good vision as they possibly can. See who gets the most kills here. Let's focus on them next. Actually, Veno is going to be getting the most kills. So let's stay on Veno for a while. Still single talk. The idea behind this is very few teams are going to look up to try to spray out height, because it's just, there's so much pressure, so much chaos, so much nonsense with the cape. And so the way teams are really going to try and take like height with the cape is they're going to get a refresh and they're going to say, screw it, I'm going up, and they're going to try and cape up. Also, notice, ulti height player, you want to like always have like different elevations of height, especially in this like second to final like moving. The reason why is because you don't want to allow a player to ever cape up above you. If a team starts caping up and gets above you, your first instinct should be to insta-cape up above them. You should not let them get height above you. You always want to be above, above, above. Focus on Vico real quick, the fragger of the trio. Second here is people cape up. They instantly elevate up. Uses literally his last build to get up. Because they're all up with their shotguns out, the second Sky pops out. His game is over. So rather than him being able to get up and take a 1v1 against Veno, they are all up. They're all ready. That was a 3v2. This is the proper way you should try to counter capes, by the way, if you get the opportunity to. Just spam cones. Because they spam so many cones, Pixie is not able to get up here. Let's just watch this back real quick from Pixie's POV, just so you can understand why it works. Now, if Pixie and Vanya are able to get above here, there is a very real world where they can win this game. It's possible. Crazier things have happened. They're the reigning FNCS champions. It's certainly possible. They make the call. Let's cape up, let's cape up, let's cape up. It's floor cone, coned. All of a sudden, Vanya lands on height, runs out of mats, forced to drop low, and Pixie is in zone knee deep. They're able to ISO this 3v1 against Vanya, while Pixie is literally doing nothing. That is the power of trying to cone people growing up. If you're final zone and you are struggling with the cape meta, try and cone them. Try and prevent them from getting up above you, because it forces you to have the advantage. 3v1 here. They insta-kill Pixie, or they insta-kill Vanya by the time Pixie gets here. The game's over. That is going to be how Flixie, Veno, and Vico had such a dominant performance in the most recent Div Cup finals, even without the early game being as smooth as you would have expected. If you guys enjoyed that video, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to sub. I'm going to be really grinding out content when the new update hits and tournaments start to happen again. Hopefully next season has even more tournaments so I can make even more content for you guys. If you guys appreciate it, I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a good one.